What's going on, guys? I'm here today with Jonathan. Jonathan was reaching out to various YouTube creators that are in a similar niche to him, looking for some help, some guidance, and he stumbled across myself. And at the same time, I was looking to start the kind of mentorship pilot program, and mentorship is something I want to get a lot more involved in. So I'm here with Jonathan. Jonathan, thank you for being here. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, well, so maybe really quickly, why don't you start by telling my viewers just like really quickly your entrepreneurial journey and how you got to where you are.
So my entrepreneurial, I always have a tough time saying that word. Journey is short, I would say, in comparison to most. It started roughly 6 months ago is when it became serious. I kind of was just dabbling in the online space, doing small things, mainly research, and eventually I ended up in December finding out about drop shipping, which is what I'm centered around now. For those of you who don't know, drop shipping is just taking a product from another site, putting it on your site at a marked up price, and selling it. So that's pretty much what I got into, and what I'm doing now, what I've been doing for the last 2 months, which is also the center of my YouTube channel, helping people doing that. See, the quick
Awesome.
story.
Awesome. And you recently had a big milestone where you dropped out of a certain thing, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did drop out of college. Officially, it was last Monday, I believe, or last Tuesday when the paperwork went through. So this is my second day out of college,
Man, congrats. That's
officially
huge.
coming back home.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I was excited to, have you as part of this pilot program is that the fact you actually went and dropped out of college to build your business, shows me that you're extremely serious about really actually dedicating to making it big in entrepreneurship. So that's awesome. Do you want to maybe, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are on the fence about should they quit their job, should they drop out of college, is this whole entrepreneurship thing real? And as like a new entrepreneur yourself, do you want to tell me about your thought process about like what made you make the decision to leave and what the hardest part of that was?
Yeah, so I was very skeptical, like I assume most entrepreneurs are, or people that want to become an entrepreneur. But it's really a situation to situation. I like to say that everyone is unique, and their life is different from mine. So I don't want to give any like direct advice,
Hmm.
but it just panned out in a way where I was going along, and I saw what I was capable of doing when I had my full time and effort focused on being an entrepreneur and doing drop shipping. And I had that comparison when I went back to college after my first month of doing drop shipping and realizing how much it suffered because of that. I had to split my focus pretty much. So I knew that I could make big things happen if I eliminated that distraction, aka college. So that's why I went along with that decision to drop out and focus on this full time. So if that relates to you guys in any way, or you think that may be a suitable option, then I would say, do some more research on it and go for it, but make sure it's the right thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could go back to the beginning of college, knowing what I know now, I probably would drop out as well. I ended up discovering the world of entrepreneurship after I'd already finished, so that was that.
Yeah,
But
I wish I discovered it years ago. Could have
me
done
too.
so much more, but
Absolutely. Awesome. So what are your goals for 2018 and kind of where are you at with the business now?
yeah. So when I created my goals, I feel like I need to revamp them again come March because I was making my goals pretty much coming in blind. I didn't have any like past experience to kind of build a trend line off of. So as of right now, my goals for 2018 as a whole are to do $144,000 in sales. And I didn't really make any specific way of how I was going to get there. I just kind of made it so I would increase $2,000 in sales every single month. So this month
Awesome.
would be to hit $3,000 in sales. But that's the primary monetary goal.
Awesome.
Um, yeah. So do you want me to go into other goals other than financial?
If there's any super relevant ones, but I mean, usually the financial one kind of drives a lot of them, but are there any
Yeah,
others or
we'll just stick with that for
sounds good.
now.
Um, awesome. I think it's like you said, you're a very new entrepreneur and you set goals and you're not sure if these are realistic, if you're undershooting it, overshooting it, but the important thing is to set them and then work hard towards them for a number of months and then you pivot and reevaluate as you go. I mean, I've set and reset goals so many times, so
Yeah.
I think
So
that's awesome.
I like to set my goals kind of wherever I can imagine myself being. I want to push my goal past that by a pretty significant amount. I want to put it in an uncomfortable area in which I know that I'm going to have to give 110% if I want to even consider getting to that goal.
Hmm.
So it's almost like setting myself up for failure, but it's failure in a positive way.
Yeah, fail
If you
forward,
get what I mean.
that's totally.
So,
What is your biggest what would be your biggest fear right now in the whole what's like your biggest worry about the next 6 months of your entrepreneurship and building your business, do you think?
so my biggest fear would be not creating a successful drop shipping business.
Yeah.
So because that's pretty much the anchor point of everything that I'm trying to do. Like building the drop shipping business, justifying me dropping out of college, and also my whole YouTube channel is centered around drop shipping. So if I can't make that work, then I'm gonna have to rethink everything.
Hmm. Awesome. So as part of the mentorship process, I'll kind of tell you four huge points that were really important for me as an entrepreneur starting out, and I think are really important for any entrepreneur just starting
Sure.
out. So the first one is I think it's really important to simplify your life as much as possible. So that means ruthlessly eliminate all unnecessary expenses. As an entrepreneur, you don't need a lot of extravagant things in your life, going out and eating at restaurants, buying drinks out, doing fancy things. You really have to become passionate about investing that extra income in your business to know that years down the road, you're going to be able to enjoy even bigger and better things. So it's really important to become comfortable with living a simplistic life where you cut out all the non-essential, especially things you're spending money on, but also things that you're wasting time on, like, TV, Netflix, things like that
Yeah,
is number one.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Number two is to understand that right now, money is scarce for you, but time is abundant. So at the beginning of an entrepreneur's journey, you have a lot of time and you don't have much money. And what that means is that you have to be really, really careful how you invest your time. So I would suggest really focusing on setting and sticking to daily and weekly schedules. And the purpose of that is to minimize any wasted time because right now you don't have the luxury of buying time. And what I mean by that is once you get a little bit further, you're going to be able to hire people to do low leverage tasks. And the first thing I did was hire someone to do like my meal prep and my cleaning at my apartment because that gave me more hours to work on the business. And then
Mhm.
as you go forward, you'll actually be able to hire people to do parts of your business as well. But right now, you need to focus on time management. And the last point I want to talk about is patience. And I see in a lot of young entrepreneurs, patience is one of the huge things they lack. It's easy to think that, you're going to be making X number of dollars per month in profit in just a few months, especially in the world we live where everyone on YouTube is talking about how much money they make. But in reality, for me, for example, it took about a year and a half for me to really step into my power as an entrepreneur. And the first year and a half was actually not much money at all. It was quite a struggle in a lot of ways, but that's to be expected. I think it takes most entrepreneurs 1 to 2 years to really hit their stride and to see the rewards of their efforts in
Mhm.
quitting a job and building something on their own. So I'd really, really encourage yourself and any young entrepreneur to just focus on being patient. Like even if you're coming up massively short of your goals, yes, reevaluate. Yes, think about ways you can hit them faster, but underlying all that has to be a sense of patience and happiness that you are walking a difficult path. And as long as you're continue on the right direction, it doesn't matter that much how quickly you're going, especially in the first 1 to 2 years. Um, it's funny, people are always, they're very patient before they start their business. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
they'll wait forever, many years. They'll say, "Oh, I'll start the business in a few years once I have more savings or after college, whatever." Then once they start their business, they're really impatient and they expect to be successful in like 6 months, which is just not the case sometimes. So those are my big takeaways: is focus on a simplistic life, focus on managing your time because right now time is abundant but money is scarce, and finally just have a great deal of patience moving forward.
Yeah, and I feel like just to touch on that a little bit, that last point that you made about the patience is becoming even more skewed in a way because of the rise of internet marketers and entrepreneurs coming into the ad space, marketing courses and stuff, talking about how in 3 days you can make a full-time income, or in a week you can be making $500 a day, and it creates this like false sense of reality that like that's what everyone's doing, and if you're not doing that, well then you're a failure kind of thing. So it's
Definitely.
like you already had to like take a decent amount of time to build up and become a successful entrepreneur, and now it's like that time frame is being shrunk even more when based on the people that are advertising, when in reality it hasn't changed at all.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously they stand to make a profit by
Yeah.
promising the get rich quick schemes. And they're not all schemes. A lot of those courses and products have a lot of value in them, but I think the timeline is often exaggerated.
Hmm.
And yeah, especially at the beginning, I think that mindset advice is more important than strategic advice, because you just, like, your first year of being an entrepreneur, you just want to accumulate so many reference experiences and have so many things that campaigns you've tried to execute. Some will work, a lot of them are going to fail, and you're just going to become such a stronger, smarter business person over that first year of progress. So, the important thing is just to constantly keep trying new things, stick with it, be patient, and then as you go along, once you master the mindset, then the strategic things become more important. Like, how specifically should I optimize this, that, or
Hmm.
whatever. On that note, having some sort of technical guidance with dropshipping is important as well. So maybe we can quickly pivot towards some more tangible coaching here. With your current dropshipping business, what's your main process for driving traffic to your store?
Yeah, so it's essentially driven around right now, I would say like 90% Facebook ads, but also a little bit of Instagram influencer shout outs.
Hmm.
But like I said, I gravitated more towards the Facebook ads in the last month.
Hmm. Awesome. What's the niche of your dropshipping business? Like, what area is it in?
So it's generally in the like men's fashion,
Awesome.
but I've started to become more specific recently because in the sort of like men's hip hop kind of, so like fashion or trends that relate to hip hop.
Hmm. Awesome. I think from my experience running North Digital, a digital agency, Facebook ads definitely are a really strong place to start. And within Facebook ads, there's so many levels of depth. At
Yeah.
the very top, you have your interest-based targeting, where you're targeting people based on, hey, it's a male who's interested in hip hop. And then you keep going down where you build out lookalike audiences, you heavily A/B test different ad sets, and you really become very analytical about it. I think Facebook ads is a classic example of a technology that's easy to learn, but it's difficult to master, and it really just comes down to
Oh yeah.
experience.
Totally. No, I get that. I remember, I'm nowhere near an expert now at all, but I remember the first thing I ever did when trying to create an advertisement for dropshipping was Facebook ads.
Hmm.
And it was so god awful. Like, I can't believe a single person clicked on the advertisement. It was still terrible, but like now I could see how far I've come, but I still have like this whole way to go. So,
Absolutely. That's the positive feedback loop that becomes addictive. You see the progress you've made, and then you want to make
yeah.
more, and you want to make more. So it sounds like you're well on your way there. So before we wrap up here, let's say over the next 30 days, what's your focus so that I can keep you accountable to stay on track?
So you said the next 30 days.
Hmm.
So the next 30 days, what I really want to do is, so in the beginning, I thought it was going to take me roughly a month to kind of figure out the whole dropshipping progress or process and figure out a strategy to start taking products and scaling them. And I've figured out that has taken me a lot longer than expected. I still haven't figured it out. So what I really want to do in the next 30 days is master advertising, or become as much of a master as possible in advertising, specifically on Facebook, So that way, once I find a product that which I think I'm getting close to, I think I may have a couple right now that I can quickly, take that and transfer it over to Facebook and scale it. So that's
Awesome.
my main goal for the next 30 days.
Great. So you're going to double down on learning Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
Awesome. And just so for the viewers, you did make you made some real revenue in the past, right? What was like your last month's revenue?
Last month was just shy of $750, which was my first month, like first time ever touching the online space.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. I mean, you built something that provided enough value where the world gave you $750 for it, and that's your first month.
yeah, and it was terrible too. Like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe I made 750. If I had the knowledge that I had now when I was working with the amount of time that I had that month ago, I could have done so much more.
Hmm. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think that's about wrapped up what we wanted to cover in this call. So, kind of as part of this program, you guys will see Jonathon back on the channel in a couple of weeks for an update about how his business is going and different struggles and goals he's working with. Jonathon has a YouTube channel that he's growing that documents exactly the struggles he's going with. It's called Ginny Inc. So
Yep.
JINNYINC. And, for dropshippers just starting out, Jonathon's channel is extremely relatable to the person who's just starting out, and you can watch Jonathon go through his lessons and what he learned and use that both as motivation as well as technical skills for you as well. So I encourage you guys to check out the channel.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, well, let's wrap it up there. Until next time, if you guys like this type of content, please like, comment, subscribe. I will put a link to Jonathon's channel in the description below. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.